Hey guys, welcome back. Joe here again, ScaleFreak.com, coming to show you the install and the quick review of the Jevne Racing Ultra Plate that you can get for the Axial SCX10. As you guys can see, this is the F-bomb, and it's going over a few changes over the next little while to get this thing ready for Axialfest 2015. Basically, it's going to be bomb-proof. So I'm changing a few of the parts, and I'm starting with the front end of the truck. So this plate here, I picked up the other day. I'm getting it installed in the truck because I wanted something that was going to be able to install my beefy servo winch, as well as change my battery and my radio box layout. I also wanted something that was going to add a whole lot of strength to my truck. So I thought, hey, I saw this thing online on another YouTube channel, and I wanted to check to see whether or not it was going to be a good application for my truck. So guys, continue to watch the video, check out the install, see how easy this thing's to put in, and thanks for watching. Of course, the first thing we're going to start with is the packaging itself, how you're going to receive this product and what is included with it. So first, of course, it is just a basic plastic bag. You're getting what seems to be a business card stapled to it. Has all the information about their Facebook site, their website, so Jevne Racing.com. Made in the USA for all those people who it matters. Looks like it's down in California, so a lot of RC in California. So opening it up, very easy. Of course, again, this is the Ultra Plate. You can see right there, I did get the Ultra. They have 3 plates, a Recon Brick, an Ultra, and a Wraith plate, I believe it was. I forget, I'm pretty sure there's just 3 for this kit alone. So, bag empty, gone. So from here, first in this bag, you're getting a couple transfer stickers. I'll put them on my kit, yeah, absolutely I will. F-bomb, I might even put one on the pit mat here. And of course you get the screws and the nuts in order to get all this fastened to the chassis, because remember, this is going to fill in a couple holes. From what I was reading on the website, is you may even have to drill a hole. So be it. The chassis itself, or sorry, the part itself, nice metal. It's actually pretty tough. It's not easy to bend, so that's excellent. It is engraved on the one side with the JR. Now, the key thing beside this, and this is kind of where I failed to see this on the website before, and then when I came back and saw it again, I was like, are you kidding me? Is this guy right here. This is actually going to go on the front of the truck like that, and I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to make it fit, that I will be able to put my my Tizzy World servo winch, the beefy winch, on the front upwards, still be able to get my radio tray on here, and of course my battery on the back. So even if you're not using this, basically what you're getting here is it's a metal plate that's going to be able to give you the distance that you need for the servo and everything to still fit in there. The battery, let me see if I pull the truck here, the battery is now going to be slanted on the back here. The electronics will still sit up on the top, and of course you will have that front plate in the front to be able to put a servo, chassis mounted servo, servo winch, anything like that on the front if you so choose. I have seen some people's kind of different takes on this, where they put the radio box in the back and they put their battery on the front to get more weight over the front wheels. I'm always going for more of a center weight situation, so the closer I can get the battery to the center of the truck, the better it is for me. And I think what I actually may do is just either just use a really awesome Velcro, or like a 2-sided silicone tape to stick my radio box onto there, and try to keep that over top of the wheels and as high as I can. So let's go through, right now we're just doing this on the F-bomb, which is in stock configuration with the radio box and the battery tray. So I will be removing that stuff, and then we'll go ahead and install this plate. Now with all the stock hardware already removed, you can see it opens it up quite a bit in here. My Vanquish shock towers, you see I've got my my aluminum brace for the front bumper. I got one in the rear as well. It just helps the chassis be a lot more stable. Now, putting this thing in the vehicle, this is actually going to add a lot more stability to the chassis as well on the front end. And one thing that I've already found that I like is that we're actually going to be removing this piece right here, which is usually a bit of a bone of contention with most SCX10 users that are using aftermarket servos, because you usually got to shave a part of that off to fit a servo arm. So for this application, we actually get to remove that, because that's where a couple of the holes are going to be to mount this plate onto. Now, again, another reason why I'm a big fan of that is because this is a plastic part. So screwing into a plastic part usually strips it out. You don't get the strength that you would expect from it, and you know, it's really just there. Its original purpose is there just to help hold the front of that battery plate up. That's kind of just what it's there for. Now, because I'm using the aluminum chassis mounts here, or the bumper mounts, this frame is so rigid that I really can't just contort it or bend it to be able to get that plastic piece out, because that thing actually fits in there pretty snug. So for this install, I'm going to have to remove this front piece here so I can spread the frame open a little bit and get that plastic piece out. Otherwise, that sucker's in there pretty good. So this just takes a second. Now, also, just in a test fit, I also noticed that I will have to loosen off my shock towers, just because of, again, see, there we go, got that piece out. So let's see if I can fit this in there without. No, so I'm going to have to loosen off one of my shock towers just to be able to get it open a little wider, to be able to get that plate to fit in there. No problem. There's one. You know what, I'll do this side as well. Sorry, my head's in the way. Common problem. So with this setup, with how accessible everything is, you don't even really have to take the tires off, which you can already see that I'm not doing. So I've loosened off the shock tower. That enables me to slip this bad boy in there. And then now you can see kind of how and where it's going to fit. So it fits nice and snug onto the chassis. Once you get it lined up into the holes that you're going to have it in, I've actually just looked and I was wrong. I don't have to make any modifications to the chassis. This actually has a hole that slips right over top of one of the back. I don't know if you can see it here. Right back here, it does fit into one of the stock holes that the bottom of the battery box used to fit into. So that's a bonus. I don't have to do any drilling because I'm terrible with them anyway. But this does come with the correct screws and nylock nuts to be able to put it through the chassis and get it on there nice and stable for you. So give me 1 second. I just want to get these screws in, and you don't need to watch that. You know how that works. I'm going to make a little adjustment to my previous statement that you would not need to drill these holes out on the back part of the chassis. When I actually went to go install the screws that come with the kit, they are a fair size larger than the hole that was already there, but just on the back side. They screw in fine to the ones on the front side, but on the back side the holes were quite a bit smaller. So I just got out the drill bit, reamed out the hole a little bit so that I can slip them through. It's okay to make the hole a tiny bit bigger than what the screw is, because this again does give you nylock nuts for the back of it. You just want to make sure that you have the right tolerances so that you don't just completely annihilate the screw as you're putting it in, destroy the threads, and then your nut won't go on. So again, I'm going to go through, finish the install. Again, I've got all this loosened off to be able to throw this on there. Also, just be sure you keep your wires clear when you're doing the install. You don't want to accidentally pinch anything. If you already know how you're going to wire your wires, maybe just pre-run them. But I don't know how I'm going to run them yet, so I'm just going to kind of keep them out of the way to make sure I don't pinch them with this metal plate. Because if you lock it down, it would be very easy to slice a wire. So again, guys, give me 1 second. With the plate installed, this thing is rock solid. I'm actually impressed with how well this thing is. Like, it's fastened down, it is locked in. I bet you I could actually remove that plastic brace that the old body box, or the old radio box used to connect into, that the shock tower actually connects to. I may do that in a future step, because I'm thinking anybody who's had their SCX for a long time knows that that plastic part starts to get pretty worn out if you're putting the screw in and out of it. So I bet you now, with the strength of this, as well as the other aluminum bits that I have as cross braces, I bet I could remove that and put a screw and a nut behind the shock tower to give it added strength onto the body. Maybe that's something for later. But I wanted to show you exactly why I put this on this kit. So you can see now that it's given me a nice flat surface on the top, and now I can put my battery back here. And of course, it does have lots of clearance between the motor. So here, with the Ultra case, you actually have or the Ultra Plate, you have enough room to be able to put like a huge 2-cell battery on there, or I mean it could be a 3-cell because it could be taller, but a full size, that could be on there. Or for myself who runs the smaller one, that fits on there as well. Now it does come with a bunch of different spots that you could put your Velcro straps to just reuse from your stock axial plate. So for the long one, maybe for the short one. But as you can see, I like to put Velcro on the bottom of my battery so they'll stick on, and then I'll put a Velcro strap around it. So either way, it's going to make it fit. I have options now, so that's kind of a big thing. Also, even with the stock radio box, it won't fit from side to side because of the shock towers, but you can still fit it lengthways and still have room for a servo up front. Or you could get yourself a different radio box, something maybe that's a little more sealed. Oh, of course, some people do like to mount them on the back like this, and then they'll put their battery up on the top. Again, completely your option as to what it is that you want to do once you have this plate installed. What I'm going to do, again, is battery will be here, radio box will be here, and beefy winch will be here. So give me 1 second. I want to tear this little spacer out of here, get this winch on there. So now I have the whole plate installed, and I'm showing you exactly, pretty much, how I'm going to have it set up. So I've got my Team AHK 3-cell battery strapped onto the back using one of the stock axial straps. And as it sits right now, it's pretty locked in, but I'm still going to put some Velcro underneath just to make sure if I take any nasty tumbles that it's not going to fly out the side. Now, if you get the Recon brick plate, it will actually have some, the ends will be bent up to better fit a plate or a battery like this, but it won't be better to fit a battery like this. So I wanted to have the ability to go back and forth. You'll see that I've got my radio box. I've actually got it two-sided taped right now onto the top. Now about a box like this, now that it's up here, I'll actually be able to Velcro this thing on there to be able to remove it and add it back in depending on if I'm cleaning the truck or washing it out or anything like that. And of course I will build everything with you know, quick detach wires in case I need to do any trail fixing or anything like that. And I'll pretty much completely seal that box. Now you can see this was one of the main reasons why I wanted to get this plate, because now I can install my Tizzy World Beefy winch on the top, and because of the distance, you can't see it when I hold it out of the camera, because of the distance I can still get full travel on my 100mm King shocks and still not make contact with the back of the winch. It's kind of hard to see here, but there's actually enough distance between the two that even with the servo horn on there, it's not going to make contact. Now this winch here, this is probably one of the first times you've seen it in one of my videos. You're going to see a lot more about it. I just have to do some things with this bumper before we start talking about it too much. But you're going to see some stuff on this winch as well. So all in all, I think proper install time for this part, if I wasn't filming, would probably be something about 20 minutes to 25 minutes. There are some cool shortcuts that you can take as far as not pulling the suspension or the shock towers or the axles off your truck. But if you like to avoid frustration and avoid nicking and cutting your fingers, pull the suspension and the axle off. It might take an extra 10 minutes, but it will avoid some frustration. Also, as a kind of an install tip, install the back screws first, but do not tighten them down. Let me show you here real quick. So install the back screws first because the hole is actually elongated to be able to adjust it, and do not completely tighten them down. Use a set of pliers to hold the back of the screw from above the top. See the way that these holes are here? From above the top and screw in the side. Best way to avoid frustration, it will lock in. Don't do it completely tight. Get your front end set up because the front end is a set static hole. It doesn't have room for adjustment. Now for this system here, because I choose to use this front bumper, which actually has the braces on the side, I actually had to bend the plate a little bit to be able to get it to fit over. It was able to do it. So if anybody with an RC4WD bumper says, can I actually stretch this plate over my bumper chassis or my bumper mount? Yes, you can. And it all fits on there solid. So I still get all the strength of the bumper and the plate still fits correctly. So thank you guys for making it so I'm still able to do that without any modification. And then after you get the front end locked down and the front end is tight and the front end is exactly how you want it to be, then go back and finish tightening the rear. It'll just save you a lot of frustration, a lot of heartache, and that'll get done. And then of course, you can put this strap back in, battery goes back in the center, all covered up and good to go. Now, just in case you ask whether or not there is interference with the axle on the back end, there is, but there's not. At full compression with my King 100mm shocks, now I am using longer shocks than the average person would, it just makes contact. It doesn't make contact like it hits it, it just makes contact that at full compression, if you turn the wheels, it will leave just enough of a mark to show me that it made contact. It's not dragging on the system, it's not bending the axle, it's not bending the plate, it's not hampering my suspension, it's pretty much just touching. So if you've got the MIP axles, this plate, and King suspension, it will work. If you're using anything else, I'm sure it will work even better. So that's it for this one, guys. I do want to thank you for watching. I hope that this has made it look like this is an easy part to install, because it really is. And I really like how it sets up the front of the truck and how it's setting up my battery placement. Big fan of this system right here. It works really well. Again, you can find their website, jevne-racing.com. You can also find them on Facebook. And you know, I got this part from Extreme Hobbies from Heather up in Oshawa, Ontario, Canada. And she has these things in stock, so it only took her a day to ship it to me. Thank you, Heather. And bang, now I've got this video for you. So again, guys, thank you very much for watching. Post your comment whether you have this part already installed in your truck, or whether you were thinking about getting something like this, and if this video helped you at all. Of course, the comment goes below. Please also don't forget, click subscribe, guys. It helps me a whole ton, and I really appreciate everyone who's subscribed so far. And you know, you click the like and share, of course. I only post this on the forums at rcsparks.com. I also post it on the RC Militia Facebook page and the scalefreak.com Facebook page. So if you guys have any questions, please don't forget to ask on those pages as well, and share it around. So thank you very much again, guys, for watching the video. I really appreciate the support. Have yourself a great day.